Hey everyone, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today on the MK Party.
Oh yeah, they're coming up on their first anniversary.
That's right. You wanted to know more about them as they're becoming a pretty big deal in South African politics. And we got some interesting stuff to share.
Yeah.
From an interview with their Secretary General, Floyd Shivambu.
Well, what I find really interesting is that they're already making these bold claims about, their impact.
Yeah.
And they're not shying away from addressing some of the controversy around them.
No, they're not. And you're right. We're talking about a party celebrating its first birthday with a massive bash planned for Durban this December.
Right.
But even before that, Shivambu's already talking about their meteoric rise at an event in Ekurhuleni.
Yeah.
He went as far as saying that the MK Party is the strongest organization to ever exist within 12 months in South Africa since 1994.
Wow.
I mean, come on, that's setting the bar pretty high.
It's a powerful statement. And to their credit, they have achieved a lot in a short time. I mean,
they've become the leading party in KwaZulu-Natal. They've secured the official opposition role in both Parliament and Gauteng, and they even have representation in 7 out of 9 provincial legislatures.
Yeah.
That's all in less than a year.
It's really something when you think about it.
Yeah.
They've obviously tapped into something that resonates with voters.
Right.
But the question is, can they keep this up?
Yeah.
Is this rapid growth sustainable?
That is the million-rand question.
Yeah.
Think about other political movements that have experienced this kind of surge.
Yeah.
Often it leads to internal pressures and challenges in managing such rapid expansion. And there's always a risk of alienating the very voters who propelled them to success in the first place.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And historically speaking, have we seen this in South Africa before? Has a party risen this quickly and managed to keep it up?
That's a great question. I don't think we've seen anything quite like this.
Yeah.
In such a condensed time frame, it's going to be really interesting to see if they can actually defy the odds.
Well, Shivambu seems pretty confident. He's
Yeah.
talking about consolidating their presence in the provinces where they haven't gained as much traction yet.
Right.
And ultimately aiming to become the majority party in all of South Africa's elections.
Wow.
That's a pretty big goal.
It's a bold vision for the future, no doubt.
It is.
But it also begs the question,
Yeah.
what are the long-term implications of that kind of ambition?
Right.
How would that kind of dramatic shift in power dynamics impact the South African political landscape?
Yeah. Would it lead to more stability or would it make things worse?
Exactly.
These are all things to think about.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got this picture of a party on the rise.
Yeah.
Big ambitions.
Uh-huh.
A leader who's not afraid to say what he thinks.
Yeah.
But there's another side to this story, right?
Right.
The MK Party has also been getting some criticism, especially about their association with some controversial figures. Like,
Right.
Shivambu keeps talking about how they're attracting the best brains in South Africa. He points to recent appointees like Dr. Tonti, their new Treasurer General, who has a PhD in finance.
So they're trying to create this narrative of, meritocracy and competence.
Yeah.
Which is, to be fair, having people with strong credentials is important for any political party.
Yeah.
But the question becomes, how do they reconcile that with the presence of people like John Zul?
Yes, John Zul, the elephant in the room.
Exactly.
You're talking about the allegations against him, right?
Yes. Zul has a prominent position within the MK Party. But he has faced accusations of wrongdoing in the past.
Yeah.
And that apparent disconnect between what they say their values are and who they associate with is something critics are really pointing to.
So how does Shivambu address these concerns? Does he downplay Zul's role?
He does attempt to defend Zul's inclusion.
Okay.
He focuses on his administrative skills and kind of downplays the past controversies.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how voters respond to that.
Yeah, how much weight will voters give to these controversies?
Right.
Will they be willing to overlook them if the MK Party delivers on its promises?
Yeah.
Or will these associations ultimately be a stumbling block?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's something to keep in mind as we continue exploring the MK Party's journey.
Definitely. Well, it's clear they're playing the long game here.
Yeah.
Shivambu's laid out a two-pronged approach for 2026.
Okay.
They're looking to solidify their base in areas where they're already strong and then at the same time push into new territories.
So a classic strategy, but how are they actually going to make that happen? How do they plan to actually achieve these goals?
Well, they're starting with these upcoming by-elections.
Okay.
December 4th, they're focused on Tabazimi.
Okay.
and they're putting forward community activists and local leaders as candidates.
That's smart. I think it shows they're committed to, like, grassroots organizing, understanding the needs of different communities.
Exactly.
Especially in an area where they're trying to gain a foothold. That kind of local approach can make a big difference.
Absolutely. Connecting with voters on a personal level is crucial.
Yeah.
In any election.
Yeah.
But especially in a country as diverse as South Africa.
Yeah, for sure.
But winning a few by-elections is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Their ambitions for 2026 go way beyond that.
Oh, yeah. Their grand vision for 2026, it was so bold, I almost forgot about it. What was it again?
Well, they're not just aiming to defend their current wins, which would be impressive enough.
Yeah.
They're targeting major metropolitan municipalities like Johannesburg and Cape Town.
Wow.
The heart of South Africa's political and economic landscape.
So they're playing political chess, basically.
Yeah.
Strategically targeting key areas to gain influence. If they can pull this off, it would be huge.
It's high stakes, for sure.
Yeah.
And to back up this ambition, they're emphasizing their commitment to assembling a team of skilled leaders.
Okay.
Who can actually improve governance and service delivery.
But can they deliver, though? Right.
Actions speak louder than words.
Right.
I mean, we've heard this before from other parties.
Right.
And they haven't always followed through. What makes the MK party different?
That's the challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Convincing voters that they're the real deal. They need to show results, not just promises.
And they'll be facing some tough competition along the way, right?
Yeah.
We can't forget about the other big players in South African politics, especially the EFF.
Right.
How does the MK party's rise affect the existing power dynamics?
Yeah.
What's their relationship with the EFF like?
Well, there's this interesting anecdote from the source material that kind of shows the tension between them.
Good.
Apparently, Julius Malema, the leader of the EFF,
right,
publicly accused the MK party of having a hidden agenda to destroy his party.
Oh, wow. So there's some bad blood there.
Yeah, it seems like it.
What did Shivambu say to that?
He basically dismissed it.
Okay.
Said they have no need to target the EFF's voters directly.
Uh-huh.
He insisted that the MK party's goal is much bigger. Okay.
They're looking to unite a 2/3 majority of South Africans under their banner.
So it's not about taking down the EFF. It's about building a bigger coalition that goes beyond traditional party lines. It's pretty ambitious, especially in such a divided political landscape.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think Shivambu's vision of unity is realistic?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
South Africa does have a history of political coalitions.
That's true.
So it's not impossible.
But
achieving that level of unity would require bridging some serious ideological divides and addressing complex social issues. It would be a huge undertaking.
Yeah, I guess only time will tell if they can do it.
Right.
But this rivalry with the EFF adds another layer to the MK party's journey.
It does.
Like watching a political thriller unfold.
Yeah.
These two forces fighting for power.
And let's not forget the controversy around figures like John Jewel.
Right.
That could really impact their ability to build trust with voters.
Yeah, we haven't forgotten about John Zool. It's like a shadow hanging over them, talking about competence and progress, but then there are these questions about their judgment and their commitment to ethical leadership.
It's a point of tension they can't ignore.
Yeah.
How they handle this moving forward will be key.
Right.
Do they double down on defending Zool, or do they address the concerns head on? Their actions will tell us a lot.
So as we're wrapping up this part of our deep dive, I'm left wondering, can the MK party balance these big goals with these controversies?
Yeah.
And can they convince voters that they're a force for positive change despite these challenges?
A lot to consider.
Feels like we're seeing a real turning point in South African politics.
Yeah.
Voters are looking for change.
Right.
Leaders who can actually address these, long-standing problems.
Yeah, that's exactly the sentiment that the MK party is tapping into.
Right.
They're presenting themselves as this fresh alternative, promising to deal with poverty, unemployment, inequality.
Yeah. It's easy to make promises, though.
It is.
But actually making those promises a reality, that's a different story.
Yeah.
South African voters have been let down before.
For sure.
They've seen parties come and go.
Right.
Big promises.
Lots of talk.
Not a lot of action.
So there's a healthy dose of skepticism among voters.
Yeah, for sure.
And rightfully so.
Right.
The MK party is going to have to really work to earn that trust.
Yeah.
And that's even harder when you consider those controversies around some of their key figures.
John Zool,
exactly.
It keeps coming back to that.
It does.
They talk about meritocracy, the best and brightest, but then
you have these questions about their judgment,
Yeah.
their commitment to ethical leadership.
It's a tough spot to be in.
It is. It's a delicate balancing act.
Yeah.
Got to project this image of, competence, integrity, but they're also under pressure to defend their choices.
Right.
Maintain party unity.
Do you think they'll address the Zool thing directly? Or will they just hope it goes away?
It's hard to say they could distance themselves from him,
Yeah.
but that risks alienating some of their supporters.
And creating divisions within the party.
Exactly. Or they could just keep defending him.
But that might make people trust them even less.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
No easy answers.
Nope.
So as they approach their first anniversary,
Yeah,
the MK party's at a crossroads.
a big time.
They have achieved a lot in a short time,
Yeah,
but there are a lot of challenges ahead.
a lot of obstacles.
They need to prove they're not just another flash in the pan.
Right.
They need to show they've got the substance, the integrity to bring about real change.
And they need to do it while dealing with a complex political landscape,
Yeah.
fierce competition from groups like the EFF,
Uh-huh.
and these internal controversies that could really damage their credibility.
It's a high-stakes game for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for painting that picture for us. It sounds like the MK party's journey is just getting started.
It is. And it'll be fascinating to see what happens next.
Absolutely. The MK party wants to be seen as a force for change and unity, but their connections with controversial figures and their ambitious goals raise some big questions about their future and their impact on South Africa. Will they deliver on their promises or will they fade away? Only time will tell.
That's the question.
This deep dive has given us a lot to think about, that's for sure. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic.